more than 80% of the ocean floor has never been seen, and what we have found down there doesn't always make sense. We're counting down 10 discoveries from the deep that scientists still cannot explain: sunken ruins, phantom ships, sounds with no known source, and traces of civilizations swallowed by rising seas. Each entry cuts deeper into the unknown, starting at number 10, a legend older than recorded history. In the 10th place, the legend of Atlantis refuses to sink beneath the waves. Plato's words, written nearly 2,400 years ago, describe a lost island beyond the Pillars of Heracles, a civilization swallowed by the sea in a single day and night. For decades, scientists have hunted for evidence beneath the Mediterranean, focusing on the volcanic island of Thera, now known as Santorini. Around 1600 BCE, a volcanic eruption with a force rivaling the most violent in human history blasted away much of the island, leaving a 12-kilometer ring of collapsed caldera. Layers of ash, dated by radiocarbon analysis, point to a disaster that could have erased entire settlements. Yet, even after the 2022 EMOD net survey mapped the seafloor in unprecedented detail, no inscriptions or ruins have confirmed the existence of Plato's Atlantis. Myth, geology, and archaeology converge here, but the line between legend and history remains buried beneath ash and water. Number 9. A grainy sonar image from 2011 sent a ripple of unsettling unease across the scientific world. Deep in the Gulf of Bothnia, a circular formation 60 meters wide, 90 meters down, emerged from the Baltic gloom. The Ocean X team, searching for shipwrecks, found instead a disc-shaped echo with ridges and a shadowed central depression. Media seized on the UFO-like outline, fueling stories of sunken spacecraft and lost technology. Yet, when geologists examined the retrieved rock samples, they found only glacial conglomerates, iron oxide nodules common to the Baltic's ancient seabed. Swedish law now requires a special license for any further exploration, and the high-resolution sonar data released in 2025 remains fragmentary, lacking the metadata needed for independent review. Without full multi-beam scans or sub-bottom profiles, the anomaly's true nature lingers just out of reach, a cold, silent puzzle preserved by the rules of science and the depths of the Baltic Sea. 8th place. The ocean's shadows conceal giants that defy scientific expectation. In 2012, a remote camera captured a megamouth shark gliding at 450 meters, an enormous, lantern-jawed presence stretching 5.5 meters, its mouth aglow with bioluminescence. 2 years later, researchers hunting through the blackness near the Oki Islands finally filmed a giant squid, its tentacles unfurling to nearly 13 meters at a depth of 600 meters. These encounters echo ancient Maori tales of the Taniwha, mythic guardians said to rise from the deep, their shapes and size eerily close to the creatures now glimpsed by modern eyes. Despite genetic analysis and hours of footage, the full life cycles and habits of these leviathans remain a secret. Their sudden appearances and unexplained behaviors remind scientists that the living mysteries of the abyss are as haunting and as unsolved as any lost city or sunken ruin. Number 7. The ocean floor guards the scattered bones of pirate empires and lost treasure fleets, sites where gold and greed still echo through the law books centuries after the storm. In 2007, Odyssey Marine Exploration raised nearly $500 million in coins and artifacts from a Spanish galleon wrecked in 1715, only to face a fierce legal battle that reached the United States Court of Appeals. By 2013, the court ruled the treasure belonged not to the Salvors, but to Spain, returning gold doubloons, emeralds, and cannons to a government 3 centuries removed from the disaster. Along the Carolina coast, archaeologists working at 34.7 degrees north, 77.3 degrees west, have recovered 6 cannons from Blackbeard's Queen Anne's Revenge, each one catalogued and conserved under the National Historic Preservation Act. UNESCO guidelines now treat these shipwrecks as underwater heritage, yet the lure of fortune ensures that every discovery sparks new disputes between nations, corporations, and the very idea of who owns the past. The ocean's silence hides not just the wrecks, but the tangled aftermath of every fortune lost and found. Number 6. The ruins of Thonis Heraklion, rising from the silted shadows just off Egypt's coast, 7 to 12 meters below the restless surface. First revealed by sonar in 1999, this sunken metropolis once stood as the gateway to the Nile, its stone temples and colossal statues now draped in centuries of sediment. Archaeologists have mapped entire quarters using 3D photogrammetry, tracing paved streets and sanctuaries still guarded by quartzite gods. Radiocarbon analysis of wooden beams and pottery fragments places the city's heyday between 2,600 and 2,400 years before present, yet the reason for its sudden submergence remains unresolved. Some point to seismic subsidence, others to gradual sea level rise, but no single cause fits the evidence. Today, Thonis Heraklion is protected under Egyptian law and listed as UNESCO World Heritage Site 1497, a lost world preserved by law, but not yet by certainty. Its temples endure, half revealed, awaiting the next layer of answers beneath the tide. In the 5th place, the Yonaguni Monument lies submerged off Japan's southernmost Ryukyu Island, a stepped limestone terrace stretching 25 meters across, with massive platforms and 2-meter risers descending into the blue. Discovered by diver Kihachiro Aratake in 1995, the site has become a battleground between geologists and believers in lost civilizations. Professor Masaki Kimura points to sharp angles, near perfect right corners, and what he claims are tool marks, evidence, he argues, of a prehistoric structure carved by human hands. Yet, sedimentologists counter with joint set mapping and point cloud geometry, showing how tectonic fractures and wave erosion can sculpt such features naturally from the region's brittle sandstone. High-resolution photogrammetry from 2021 deepens the divide. Some interpret the vertical walls as deliberate, others as textbook examples of block collapse. Officially, Japan lists Yonaguni as a special natural monument, not a cultural site, reflecting the legal stance that nature, not humanity, shaped these terraces. The truth remains submerged, caught between the precision of ancient engineering and the relentless creativity of the sea. Number 4. The Orang Medan haunts maritime lore with a story that refuses to die. In 1948, a chilling SOS crackled across the Strait of Malacca, all officers, including the captain, dead, lying in chart room and bridge, possibly whole crew dead. When rescuers arrived, the ship was found adrift, her crew sprawled on deck, eyes open, faces twisted in terror, if the reports can be believed. Yet no official registry for the Orang Medan exists in Dutch or international archives, and no wreck has ever been conclusively identified. Some Dutch naval logs from the late 1940s mention a search for a derelict matching the description, but offer no closure. Scientists have speculated about a sudden release of methane hydrate from the cargo hold, enough to asphyxiate the crew in seconds, but without a wreck, the theory remains as intangible as the legend itself. In 2021, a maritime review traced the story through newspaper archives and found only rumor, not evidence. The Orang Medan endures as a ghost, its terror suspended between myth and the cold limits of forensic science. Coming to the top 3, the wreck of the Prince Eugen lies in the Baltic, a steel giant frozen mid-collapse since May 1945. Its 140-meter hull rests on the seafloor, battered but eerily intact, sealed engine rooms holding the silence of a vanished crew. ROV Expeditions in 2018 mapped the interior in sweeping 360-degree arcs, revealing corridors lined with rusted machinery and compartments still locked against the sea. Most haunting are the unexploded 15-centimeter shells wedged in the forward turrets, lethal relics untouched for nearly 80 years. In 2024, a multi-beam sonar scan traced the hull's outline with centimeter precision, confirming that much of the superstructure remains undisturbed. As a designated war grave, Prince Eugen's secrets are protected by UNESCO Convention and joint Swedish-Finnish law. Every new survey requires special permits, and any disturbance risks both legal and ethical breach. The ship is a paradox, fully charted, yet still dangerous, and still withholding its final chapter. Even in the age of robotic eyes and high-resolution mapping, the ocean keeps its deadliest stories sealed behind steel and silt. Number 2. Birtinta. The ocean's silence is sometimes shattered by sounds that have no name. In 1997, an array of NOAA hydrophones anchored in the remote Pacific caught a low, sweeping roar, later called the bloop. Tanban. The signal began near 1 kHz and plunged down to 200 Hz in a matter of seconds, its amplitude peaking at a staggering 180 decibels. Louder than any known whale and powerful enough to be tracked over 5,000 kilometers. Bamban, the spectrogram, shows a rising, then falling wave, a signature unlike any recorded before or since. Early theories spun out of control. Some imagined a leviathan larger than any blue whale lurking in the abyss, and Python. No AA's own analysts debated for years, weighing the evidence between icequakes, giant slabs of Antarctic ice fracturing underwater, and the faint possibility of a volcanic eruption deep below the Southern Ocean. Yet, no repeat has ever been captured, and the raw hydrophone files remain locked in government archives. All acoustic models run in 2020 hinted at a submarine volcano, but without full station data, the mystery endures. The bloop stands as a chilling reminder that the ocean's deepest secrets are not always visible. They can echo through water, leaving only questions in their wake. And finally, in first place, the Sunda Shelf stretches beneath the shallow seas of Southeast Asia, a drowned continent nearly 2 million square kilometers wide, now hidden by the slow, relentless rise of the ocean. During the last glacial maximum, sea levels fell by 120 meters, exposing a vast landscape where rivers braided across plains and forests reached the horizon. In 2023, scientists mapped these lost valleys with 5-meter grid bathymetry, revealing ancient channels winding from Borneo to the Malay Peninsula. Sediment cores drilled from the submerged shelf captured pollen from dipterocarp trees, their presence marking a time when land, not water, dominated this space. Radiocarbon dating pegs these forests to 12,000 years ago, just before the Great Melt. Yet, in all this expanse, no hearth, tool, or structure has ever been confirmed. Oral traditions from the Orang Laut and Dayak peoples speak of a flood that swallowed entire worlds, stories echoing across generations, but never anchored by stone or artifact. Indonesian marine law now protects much of the shelf as a marine protected area, forbidding excavation without direct evidence. The Sunda Shelf remains a question written in silt and silence. Was there once a civilization here, or only the memory of land lost to the sea? The answer, if it exists, lies buried beneath layers of mud and myth, reminding us that the greatest mysteries are measured not in relics, but in the scale of what the ocean has erased. Across all 10 mysteries, one truth emerges. The ocean guards its secrets with unnerving silence. Each discovery only hints at the scale of what remains hidden. In these depths, human certainty dissolves. The sea is not just unexplored, it is unknowable. Thanks for diving into the unknown with us.